Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mes Favoris, my favorite things. I love it. I love even saying it, So my favorite things, I have a guest in studio. I'm not sure whether she's been here before, but let her first introduce herself because that's how we get carried away. Sylvia Karibu, please introduce yourself to the Just Angie family, and then we're going to have this conversation.
Hi, Just Angie family. Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much, Apostle Angie, for inviting me. It's such a pleasure. It's such an honor. I'm usually somewhere.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's such a privilege to be here talking to you. I love you. You know that. I honor you. Yeah.
And who is Sylvia?
Oh, right. So my name is Sylvia Mundia, and I'm a journalist. I'm in communication as a profession, and I love Jesus. I love to serve people. I love to give of myself to the things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah. And you really are. That's actually described you to a T. You're very passionate about everything that you do. So Sylvia is usually behind the scenes. So now today she's in front of the scenes here, and she's the one who started all this. So she's gonna explain herself. But it was I felt like I wanted to do a relationship series. After we did, after I was on, is it MTV?
Yeah.
And we did handling conflict in marriage.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And at least, I was trying to be not controversial. Like the examples they gave me, I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm just going to give general principles.
Yep.
But it was such the uptake, it was such a sought after conversation. So I started saying we must start doing things about relationships. So in MFT, my favorite things will try to bring in conversations about relationships because I don't know, life is made up of relationships. Everything revolves around relationships. So,
100%.
And they're in so many ways. So where do you want to start today, Sylvia?
100%, you're right about, life involving relationship. And I think it's even God. I mean, God is also in relationship.
Oh,
that's at the inception of who we are, God, Jesus was involved, the Holy Spirit was involved. See, the Spirit was hovering.
Yes.
Then God spoke and creation happened.
Yeah.
So we're not supposed to live in isolation.
That's true.
We're created for each other and to be of use to each other. So yeah, relationships is something that for me has been, it's different. Because my relationship with God is very special to me.
Okay.
I got saved. I got saved right after I lost my grandpa. So this is like 2016. This was 2016. Actually, it's exactly, I'm acting like I don't know the date. It's May 2016. And that just sort of began a whole journey. After getting saved is when I met you. I came into PLF September of that year. And my life has never been the same.
Again.
I kid you not. No, for real, I just feel like, so that's where I would say I always knew and loved people, I think, right from the word go. But I feel like meeting God and knowing God has sort of redefined how I interact with people. Meeting God and process. I mean, this is not, we'll talk about it a little bit deeper, but I just wanted to say that I always loved people. And I always loved my family, friends. I have a whole community. But when I met God, when I got saved, the way that I interact with people and the purpose for relationship has sort of been redefined and changed. And as I grow, even with like you as my father and mentor, it's really changed so much about how I perceive everything around that. Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful. You started in a very powerful way. But I wonder, is it the loss? Because that was a relationship. So your grandpa was a relationship.
Yeah.
Is it the loss of the relationship that just said, I've just got to get close to something before I lose myself or something like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I grew up with my grandparents. My grandma raised me and my grandpa. My mom was there, but she was in school, so it was on and off. So I was always with my grandparents, mostly my grandma. So I grew up with her, and a lot of my aunties were in and out. So I had a lot of love around me and celebration and joy. I'm the first grandchild of my grandfather. So everyone was just excited that there's a baby. And I definitely grew up in a lot of that energy. My grandma was very calm, wise, very green energy, even tempered. But then she was also a serious disciplinarian. So that was, like, I would say, my relationship first. That was probably my first relationship. Yeah, with my mom, of course, but with her as I'm getting to know myself and also just realizing who I am. And my grandpa was like my dad because of just those dynamics. So I think at the point that I lost him, and I've heard you talk about this, and when I was even reflecting about the conversation today, it really occurred to me that I think the premise or the beginning point of this whole thing about relationship is fatherhood.
Now you've struck, and that is it.
Yeah.
The whole, honestly, the center, the core, the everything.
Yeah.
Is fatherhood.
Yeah.
Because, like I think I've told you guys that I've said it many times.
Yeah.
The whole world globally.
Yeah.
Is suffering from fatherhood.
A crisis of fatherhood.
Crisis of fatherhood. So
yep.
Fathers can be present, but very absent.
Yep.
They provide, but they're not there. They're not going to give you life skills. They're not going to tell you how they did it, or they are completely absent, or they are abusive. I feel like the world's problems stem around this issue.
That's so
of
true.
a lack of proper functioning fatherhood. And we're taught that in Bible school. And there are those just things that just stick in the back of your mind, but then now you start seeing the world and seeing and living and understanding it's the truth. If fatherhood was functioning in all areas, spiritual fatherhood, physical fatherhood, financial fatherhood, professional and career fathers, mentors, counselors, coaches, if all that was working, we're better off. We're people who are better off. So I think the secret, I've just thought about it, then is to find it. When God helps you find a spiritual father that is a real father,
Exactly.
When God helps you find a father who will mentor you, counsel you, finances, what do I do in love, in marriage, all these things, these are very, very important. And it's important to say that father is gentleless. It's not about being a man. It's about finding somebody who will lead and guide you in the ways that God has ordained for you. So you really hit a point. So I think, I'm also thinking like for you, then I feel it was a cushion or a way to ensure that you don't go in the wrong direction, I think.
Absolutely.
Because when you've lost a father like that, like your grandpa, and I'm thinking it's an anchor. He's an anchor. He's a strong point. Then so many things can go wrong. Because me, when I lost my father, I almost lost my head. But that's a story for another day. I'm like, no. Like, what happened?
It's true.
Like even physically feeling like I didn't have a cover.
Yep.
That is so strange because I'm telling you, I was like a confused human being. And so many things were coming at me. Like, I remember driving down my road. That's the first day I felt like I don't have a cover. So I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean? Why am I feeling exposed?
Yeah.
I felt exposed because my father had died. So I felt very, very exposed.
That's true. I mean, you've really nailed it. It's a role. The fatherhood is a role. It's not a person. It's not a thing. It's a role. And someone needs to be meeting that role for you to be able to walk the straight and narrow the way God has intended for you. So God is your father, but then he also, I've been wondering, like, even the reason why Jesus had to come to earth to live as a man is so that he can show us the way. And he was born in a family. So you can't, I think we really downplay that role of like your family. But I think sometimes it's because people are hurt. Like, a lot of people are hurt in families. Like, you grow up with wounds. So you don't necessarily take it kindly when someone is trying to mentor you or trying to hold your hand or coach you or correct you, because it sort of takes you back to maybe trauma and stuff that you had to go through.
It's amazing that you say that but families are the same. I mean, I don't say they're the same, but there's trouble in all families.
Yeah.
There's not a single family on the face of the earth
Yeah.
that doesn't have issues.
That's
Every
true.
family has issues. So sometimes you need to find comfort in that, number one.
Yeah.
That all families have issues. But it's amazing you say that, because the people I find, because I mentor, coach, train leaders, the people I have the most trouble with is those who had problems with their parents. Anyone who had a relationship, now I find now I'm chonjo. Hey, these are almost like, look at you have come. I know how to deal with your kind. But because I had to be, I said, what is going on? Like how so many things can go wrong.
Yeah.
But anybody who's had a problem with their father or their mother,
Yeah.
usually will have a problem with me at some point. It's gonna show up at some point, because it's that. I guess, sometimes I feel like I'm representing something, or you're rebelling against authority, or I grew up and left home. So who are you now coming? And most of them, me, there's none I've ever got to collect in their house. You have to make that. I have never.
They find you.
I have never left
and
where I was.
all the drama.
I have never left where I was to go and get this person. So I just don't understand. You carried yourself with your own two legs, and you brought yourself. But then now there's a problem after that. So it's hard. But I did begin to understand that if you've had, all people have issues in families, but if you have had a serious problem between a father or a mother or a parental authority, that's something that you need to work on, because this is the relationship series. That's something you need to work on, because it's going to keep showing up. Until you face it head on and deal with it.
Yeah. And even thinking about the reason why we say generational curses, it's because it's the same thing. Like, I think we really underestimate the devil.
We do.
This spirit has been around for a long, long time. They know, like, he knows our generations before you could even imagine. Like, he knows even where that thing started, and he knows what he did. But now, like, when you don't interrogate, because I think, and I think that's the thing that happened with me, is that when I met you as a coach, is that I began to interrogate myself. I always had grace for people and relationships outside of myself, but I really started to work on the relationship with myself. And that has been...
That's a war.
It's so crazy.
That one is a war.
It's so
because
crazy.
You're a whole adult.
Yeah.
And now you have to face yourself.
Yeah. And it's really hard.
Very.
It's really hard. It's really hard to see the things, because we all have like an idealistic image of ourselves. I
like those idealistic image.
Yeah, we know. Like you think you're
But it's not the reality.
But it's not always the truth.
No.
In fact, you're the one who made us. I think when we were doing the Women Rising book, you gave us a challenge to ask the people around us stuff they thought about
I can't
you.
even ask. Yeah, somewhere can't ask now. I did it for Elnet. Imagine, it's amazing. I won this. I got this. Is it ethical certification?
Ethical leadership.
Where you put people, so they have to go and ask other people. And I was very brave, but now I don't know whether I'm ready to ask other people. But you see, you have to be ready for the answers, and then you have to make sure you don't become enemies. Because of the answer. Oh, that is what you think about me. Yeah.
And you see, I guess that's also what makes fatherhood kind of hard, because you have to let this person to intrude in your life. You have to allow them to intrude. You have to allow them to question things, to make you think outside or differently from what you thought before. And that's not easy. So I was saying, that looking at yourself kind of begins to change everything. So even when you're talking about like generational patterns or hurt or issues that we need to recall, like we need to realign in our families and within ourselves, first just start with yourself first before others.
Before you realign anybody
before you
else.
are trying to align everyone else. The enemy has set out, and you say that in your book, that's actually how you begin the real you, which all of you guys should get.
You should get the
Please
book.
get yourself that book.
The book.
It will save you plenty. So you talk about that you're born in a setup. You're born in a place, the enemy has already put all the bombs, landmines.
All.
You are not even sure.
He has not even left half out.
Yeah.
And all is coming after your purpose and who you are.
Imagine.
Your identity.
Imagine.
So he knows you're supposed to be this.
Yeah.
But he puts sets in everything.
Yeah.
So that by the time you're getting there, you can't even breathe. Even if you're told, this is what you're going to do, you're like, it's okay, it's a wrap.
I don't know if, I mean, I don't
even
have
the energy.
Yeah. So I think that's like being born in, like, you need to have that realization for yourself, but also even when you're becoming a parent, like, you also need to know that for your kids. So you kind of try as much as possible. But going back to self, I think now when you grow up, you realize, hey, okay, life is, it's different for everyone. Everyone is walking their own journey. Our challenges, our success stories, even what we consider to be success and all that are very different because of God has placed a unique thing in you that's just for you. So if you realize a lot of, I think that, and you can tell me, but I think that you kind of always know what you're supposed to do and be.
I think you are. It's always there.
Yeah.
But so much has come against it.
Yeah.
It just keeps waning. It's like if you have a container, it's just the enemy, if you allow him, it just keeps taking. It just keeps taking. So by the time there's only this much, you're like, are you sure? Yeah. And a lot of doubt, because that's why identity is the key to life.
It really is.
If you don't know who you are, you'll never get anything done. You'll never move.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with fatherhood.
Yeah.
Because fathers give their children
identity. Literally, from the word go.
So even with men who you find have big issues and lots of pain and addiction, it's because there was something the father did not deliver, or he delivered with pain, or it's always, if you go back, it goes to the father.
It's true.
Even like men who don't know what they're doing, it's because that sense of identity comes from your father.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it, that's the problem. Yeah. And I guess even with women who don't have, but the best thing, at least I've seen it for myself, is because my son, his father died when he was 5. So God became his father.
That's
and
amazing.
When he says it, it sounds like you just think it's just a statement.
Yeah.
But he lives it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's what I love about Matu. He lives it. He literally, God is my father. So, like we were saying, even with Pastor M on the series that we've just done, like there's no excuse. Stop the pity party today.
It's true.
Just don't stop it. God is your father. He's a father, and he's there, and he's one of the best fathers to ever have.
It's true. He's the ultimate father. He's the father you must have.
Yeah.
That is the one you at least must have. Yeah. Find the Lord.
So
Find
even if all these others are not working,
start there.
And then also that's why I guess identity, even going back to your story, you see, I love the way God brings it together. You have to come back to that idea because there are many things I talked about. But now when your grandfather died, who was a representative father, your identity now needed to be in God.
Yeah.
That's why you got born again.
I got born again. Yeah. And then right after, he placed me under a father. Yeah. And you see, of course, in 2016, I didn't know that's what you were doing.
I didn't know. Did I know what I was doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just training people out to get their potential out, leadership, purpose. That's it.
Absolutely. But you see, what has happened, like, over the years, like, with God works in process. Over that period, like, up until this year, I think now it's 8 years, which is amazing. Throughout that journey, our relationship has transitioned. My relationship with God has transitioned because you've taught me how to pray, like literally taught me how to pray, how to read the Bible, how to ask the right questions, all those things that you think I don't know, the place of discipleship is also underrated.
Extremely underrated.
Extremely underrated. So that we had a whole discipleship journey that has been going on, but it even grows in itself because now there are things you get to a point with your father that, and even with God, it should be the same way. That now he can call you, he can ask about even more difficult things, like things that you don't even want to talk about it. You'd rather just be having it at the back of your mind, or you're seeing signs and symptoms showing up in your life.
And you don't want to deal with the signs and the symptoms.
Yeah, but a father will tell you, look.
But there's relationship, because it's about relationship.
It's relationship.
Actually, what has happened from 2016 until now is our relationship has really evolved. Yeah. It's really evolved to the place where I can say, hey, Sylvia, I don't think so. Because I was thinking, I've taught you to pray, I've taught you the word. I think I've taught you how to make decisions, what kind of decisions you want to make. So it's giving you skills with which to live even in that marketplace, and navigate it, yeah?
Exactly.
And see God and see what you can do and how you can be different. There's a lot of change that's taking place in you, but there's also a lot of change taking place in me because I learn a lot.
Yeah.
I learn from, let's say there's a way I didn't do it well. I learn now next time, this time I need to do it.
Yeah.
But also, that's why some people, like, you can be going down a steep rabbit hole. Me, hey, I'm minding my own business, drinking my tea. I'll probably pray for you. I'll be, hey, okay, let's just pray. But I must say, open my mouth and tell you, hey, please. I don't want any backlash.
It's
so
true.
That's why I told you everyone has brought themselves. But
Yeah.
as the relationship grows, then I'm able to say, hey, Sylvia, this is not, I don't think that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Or what do you think we should do about this? Let's tattoo on this thing. What do you think? Let's quote, write your vision down. What's your vision? What do you want to do? So I'm helping you navigate life, but you're also helping yourself because you're the one who comes up with the decisions and the actions and the timelines. But there are some people, because of even how wounded they are, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I know exactly that. I know the answer. All of it. I have the answer. I have the answer sheet. But I'm minding my business.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that kind of a relationship.
That's
because
true.
This was the relationship series.
Yeah.
There's a relationship that we need to have that allows us to be able to speak into each other's lives. And Shitako was saying it's time out, but also Althea has really helped me. You know, Althea, it was brutal. Brutal. But she unpacked me till I was like, Mommy. But you really go sit there, you're like, hey, yeah. Here, there's this problem. So she helped me see myself.
Yeah.
So even in that journey, I've grown as well.
Yeah.
I've had to unpack myself. I've had to not ignore the signs and the symptoms, investigate these signs and symptoms,
them,
and then grow. So even for me, because sometimes you think like maybe a father or a parent is not going through their own growth journey. Everyone is going through their own growth journey.
Yeah.
Which now comes back to the place of family.
Yeah.
We have to cut each other some slack.
Yeah.
Because guys
really
have grown.
do.
We cannot be on the 1960s story. Guys have moved.
So
we have moved on.
Yeah.
So give it a chance.
Yeah.
And then also I'm just thinking, even people who cut off their families and all communication with families.
You're so mad.
That is crazy. Let people evolve. Let people evolve, let them heal, let them tell you where they are coming from. Let's continue to talk and to love each other, because we need each other. And there's a reason why God put us in families.
Yeah.
There's a reason why God put us in families.
I feel like the ultimate success for Satan is destroying families. Yeah. It's that separation of unity. You can't come together. You hate each other. You should not hate your family.
You shouldn't.
You can't feel sad and mad about your family, and this is completely not judgmental. You could feel even so hurt, you can be mad, angry, and all those things. But what I'm saying is, like, if you do feel that way, it's a point of calling from God to interrogate it, to spend time, ask God, okay, I can't continue walking around feeling this way about my family. You can't, like, they are your first source of blessing. Yeah. That's where you were born. That's how you even existed. So I think I would say that, especially for us today, like, a lot of us have grown up in dysfunctional families. We've grown up in a lot of pain from our parents, seeing abuse or seeing them even abuse each other. So you don't know what love is or what love should look like. But you cannot know if you don't start at the right place. And the right place is the heart of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, if you're taking away something today, it should be that you should talk to God. He doesn't, you don't have to show up in any way to talk to God. You just, even now, if you just say, Dear Lord Jesus, I don't understand this pain, help me, He's gonna come through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Sylvia. That is so powerful. Like, wow, okay, that's it. But it's the truth. Family is everything. I keep saying the last thing. This is the last thing.
Yeah.
But they say, apparently, some people who've had the near-death experiences, that guess the people who welcome you to heaven, your family. Oh my, hey!
Oh, I can't wait.
They said how do you So you better sort your issues out here.
Yeah.
Because now you're spending eternity with these people.
Yeah.
You are not getting away from them. This is your family. Actually, they're the people who karibisha you there. They're the people who come to receive you.
That's
Please, just get it. Let's just sort out family. And I love what she said. Find the heart of God regarding the entire matter. you. I've had so much fun. Oh, Sylvia.
Same,
This
it
is
flew
so
by.
much. We have to have a relation. We'll be bringing somebody. We talk about relationship. Even you're not finished. You have to come back here because you did tell me so many things. But I think we've got to keep doing this.
Absolutely. God bless for that. God bless.